What's up, guys? Just got home from the movie theater, just saw the movie Hokum, and I think we might have the best horror movie of 2026 so far. What's up, folks? Chris from Cinema Hooked, and I'm here today with a new movie review. I know I took a long extended break, but last week came back, did a movie review on Over Your Dead Body, and this week I'm here with the new movie Hokum, and I want to talk about it. Keep the first few minutes spoiler free, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're after, because the little teaser trailers that I saw didn't really give away a whole lot. I did not read the synopsis because I saw Adam Scott. I saw it was a Neon production, and the little teaser that I got, I was like, I'm in. I'm 100%, I'm in. I want to see this film. Now, before I jump into my non-spoiler section, I would just ask, if you're new to this channel and you like movie reviews and you like hearing someone just talk about what they did and didn't like about a film, I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button down there, hit the little like button like the sign there says. It really helps a small channel like mine grow. And let's jump into non-spoilers. As I said before, this movie was a production of Neon. It stars Adam Scott. It is directed by Damian McCarthy, who I am unfamiliar with, but looking at his filmography on IMDb, I have heard of a few of the movies. I don't know anything about them, but it might be a name I keep an eye out for in the future, because if this is his style, if these are the types of stories that he's telling, I think this is the director I'm going to want to keep my eye on and watch his future films. One thing I'll say, because I don't want to give anything away, this section's strictly non-spoiler, but just off the little teaser trailers, it's like, okay, a horror movie. All right, horror movie, it seems really creepy. But this movie isn't at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to get, and when I say run-of-the-mill, I don't mean it in a bad way, but your run-of-the-mill horror film. It's going to be scary. There's going to be a creepy, antagonist in it. It's going to give you the chills. It's going to be really creepy. But it was a type of story that I just don't want to give away until we get to full spoilers. But it's just good. It was so good, and it told the type of story that I didn't think it was going to tell. It just had horror elements. It wasn't strictly a horror movie, but that's really all I can say as far as what type of movie it was. It's not exactly what you think it's going to be. Kind of like Weapons last year. I did not know that Weapons was going to be what it was based off the trailers that we got. It was a completely different movie, and in a good way. And same with Hokum. Completely different movie than what I thought it was going to be, but I absolutely loved all the choices that were made. This is not an overly gory movie. So if you're not super into gore, don't worry, it's not that. And if you like creepy, if you like getting the chills, if you like kind of being like, oh, and you kind of like clench up, you're just like, I know something's gonna come, I don't know what it's gonna be, you're gonna love this movie. One thing that I really appreciated about this movie, because while you're kind of squirming in your chair and you're like, something's gonna happen, it does not do the cheap jump scare where it's like, I bet something's gonna happen. Like, it's like, and like a big noise, and you're like, oh, cool, cheap jump scare, great. You couldn't be original and scare us with a visual or anything like that. You just had to make a loud noise and make me jump and drop my popcorn and stuff like that. This movie does not do the cheap jump scare thing, and that's something I really, really appreciate, because I hate it when films do that. The newest, latest, and last Conjuring film, probably the last, but I'm sure they'll try and milk that franchise some more, they did that jump scare crap, and it just felt so cheap, but this was not cheap in any way. That's as vague as I want to be as far as non-spoilers. I really want to jump into spoilers. I want to talk about it with you guys. So if you want to see it, you want to avoid the spoilers, don't watch the next section. Go see the film, come back, see my full spoiler review. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, because I'd really love to just talk about this movie with you guys down in the comments. So go see the film, come back, let's discuss. All right, jumping into full spoilers for Hokum. If you haven't seen it, turn it off now. Go to one of my other videos. Check out last week's review. Go see that movie as well, because it's great. It's hilarious. If you want to laugh your ass off, that's the film to go see. First off, I want to start out by saying, based off the teaser, I didn't know what kind of character Adam Scott was going to play, but boy, is he just a huge dick. He's the worst. He is the biggest jerk. I did not expect him to be a guy who was like, I thought I was going to be like rooting for him. I thought he was going to be like the protagonist, but he's kind of the jerk off of this movie. It changes as it goes on. Obviously, it changes, but they're really not making us like the character from the get-go. It's kind of, we don't know much about the character. We see that he's writing a book, which was, when the movie started out, it was all desert scene. Okay, a map to like a treasure. what the hell is this? And I was like, I wonder, and couldn't remember from the trailer. I can't remember if the trailer showed it or not, but I was like, maybe he's like a writer and like we're seeing like what he's writing, and then boom, we see he is writing a book right now. That's when we get our first taste of the kind of creepiness that this movie's gonna have, because in the distance on that staircase, we see just a shadowy figure to which he, you know, shines the light on. It disappears. Okay, that was creepy. Then bam, she's right behind him. That was super creepy. I didn't think that was jump scary because it didn't make like a lot of huge noise or something like that. It was just like there was nobody there, and then, oh, there's someone there. It's like, oh, ooh, okay, all right, creepy, all right, I like it. Then we see Adam Scott's character going through like some old mementos, some old boxes. One of them has a lock on it. He saws the lock off. We find out there's a gun in there. We see a picture of his mom. We see a picture of a hotel like logo. And next scene, bam, like we're going down the hillsides, you know, the countryside of Ireland. It looked a lot like the Skyfall. In Skyfall, when they go back to James's old mansion, which I just saw the other night. So it was fresh in my head, and I'm curious if they shot on the same location. But he's in Ireland. Not a whole lot of context, just boom, he's in Ireland now. This is when we get that first taste of, okay, he's a dick in this movie. Because right off the bat, every human interaction he has, it's like, dude, stop being a dick. Like, you're being rude and dickish to everyone that you're talking to. And I'm kind of hating you right now. And I want to like it because I like you, Adam Scott. I like you. And I want to root for you in this movie. But so far, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, if you were to die, I'm not sure I'd care. Clearly, this is a flawed character. We find out through events that happen that he's very depressed. And he's carrying a guilt around with him. And the person that we keep seeing, because we see the photo of his mom, the woman we saw creep behind him when he was writing the chapters on his laptop, that was his dead mother. When he's talking to the bartender and hotel employee, he mentions how his mom died a couple years after visiting that hotel with her husband, and that, you know, they had a fun time there. And she asked like, oh, why didn't they ever come back? And he's like, she died a few years after that. Oh, did they find out who killed her? They're, yeah, they did, but he was too young to blah, blah, blah. I mean, right there, I'm just like, oh, so you killed your mom. Okay, like, they like weave around it, but I don't think it was meant to be a mystery. I think anyone with like one or two brain cells can figure like, oh, you killed your mom. That's why you're seeing the ghost of your dead mom. The gun, you're holding the gun. That was the gun that did it. Got it. Okay, you killed your mom. You know, then we get into the mystery of the honeymoon suite, you know. They're talking about the honeymoon suite. They talk about folklore. They talk about witchcraft. And they talk about how, you know, years ago, the owner of the hotel locked a witch up in the honeymoon suite. That's why he keeps it locked up. Nobody goes up there. It is off limits. He's the only one with the key. Nobody goes up there. But she really wants to go up there one day. She's tried, but she's never been able to go up there. After some other awkward encounters, specifically with the bellboy, to which he was the biggest. Like, he burnt the man with a hot spoon. Like, dude, he held the spoon over the flame. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna burn this guy. He's gonna burn this guy. And he did. I was like, I can't believe he just did that. And then it flash forwards. I don't know how much time went by. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 20 minutes. Not sure. But he left his tape recorder there. She goes up there to give it back to him. Boom, he hung himself. And then it did this weird thing where it almost seemed like it was filmed on like an old like antique film camera, and we're seeing him like in the elevator, and I thought it was going to do a thing where it's like 1 hour earlier, and I thought we were going to get like the events that led up to his death, but that's not what we got. He actually tried to kill himself. They cut him down. He wakes up in the hospital. I think it was like a week later, maybe 2 weeks, but time has gone by since he tried to hang himself. Not only was this guy so depressed that he killed himself, and he was already carrying around the guilt for his entire life, probably, 30 to 40 years of accidentally killing his mother, then now he's carrying the guilt of how he traumatized that hotel employee, and she goes missing, and now he wants to try and help find her, and then he has his suspicions that maybe because she told him how she always wanted to go to the honeymoon suite, maybe she went up there. Maybe that's where she's missing. Maybe she went up there and nobody knows, and the police didn't check up there, so perhaps that's where she is. Maybe that's where they'll find her. Then we've got Crazy Jerry Moonshine guy out in the woods, and they crossed paths back when he was emptying his parents' ashes, pre-trying to hang himself, and he comes into the fold, and because the police are looking for Jerry now, and that, I thought the Jerry character, first off, Jerry was awesome. Loved Jerry. I thought he was funny, but he was interesting, and he was definitely a lovable character because while some people point out, oh, that's crazy homeless Jerry, lives in his van out in the woods. I don't know, he just had this, I don't know, he just brought something to the character that made you like root for it. Like, I like Jerry. He's telling him about how he believes that she's in the honeymoon suite because when he was there one night trying to steal meds out of the cabinets, the little dinger bell goes off. And when he's retelling the story and we're seeing what he saw and he looks up at the bell, he like turns around and he sees her and she's like pointing at the bell. That was so creepy. Again, not a jump scare. It was just creepy. Jerry convinces Ohm, which is Adam Scott's character's name, Ohm Bowman. He convinces him, we got to go back to the hotel. We got to get up to the honeymoon suite, to which Ohm is like, well, we don't have the key. And he's like, he opens his jacket. He's like, I have the key. I stole it. So let's go. And I thought it was funny when he's behind the desk and he's looking at himself, oh, that's where I saw her. And she was like, oh. I thought that was funny. I got a little chuckle. That was funny. There is humor in this movie. Not like belly laughing humor, but definitely little funny moments to help ease tensions. Because like I said, there's moments where I'm like, oh, man. Oh, gosh. It's coming. Something's happening. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. This is where the movie really took a big turn on me. So the guy who I believe is part owner of the hotel, he finds Jerry in the office trying to look for the crossbow, and he knocks him out and he hauls him off. He doesn't see the Ohm's there. So Ohm's like, well, the key's still here, so I'm just going to go up there by myself. Goes up there by himself, and then that's when the son-in-law of the owner of the hotel, he finds him up in the room. Now, this is where the movie took a real big twist on me. It's just like, you know, they go up to the room. They're like, okay, she's clearly not here. So let's go. Let's get out of here. He's like, oh, like, what's that? And it's one of those dumb waiter kind of elevator things. You know, servants would like have food and whatnot get brought from the upstairs to the downstairs. It goes down to a basement. He's like, what's down there? He's like, it's nothing. It goes down to the basement. There's no access down there. Forget about it. Blah, 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 blah. But he pushes the button anyway. And he's like, no, what are you doing? Like, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's like, okay, clearly he's trying to hide something. Up comes the dumbwaiter, and there's the dead body. Poor Fiona in her like bunny rabbit Halloween costume, to which we get a flashback to that night. She's drugged and he puts her in the dumbwaiter and just sends her down to the basement to die. She wakes up in the dumbwaiter in the dark, not knowing anything. And this is when he's locked in the room. He finds his tape recorder on her body. She was leaving him messages, and God, it was so creepy because he's listening. She's like, you know, it's dark down here. I think there's someone down here, and there's, I'm getting the chills thinking about it. But you hear these like creepy voices in the background, and it's super creepy. I was super creeped out. I was getting the chills all over. What about you guys? If you saw this movie, were you getting the chills? Because I was on edge. I was creeped out, and I loved every second of it. Because I like feeling uncomfortable when I'm watching these types of horror movies. I like the creepy, this is witchcraft. We're in spoiler territory. It's a witchcraft kind of horror movie, kind of like Weapons was. It's in the witchcraft category, not the gore. It's not a Michael Myers, serial killer type thing. It's more of the mystical, witchcraft, that stuff. And creeps me the F out. Now, we don't need to break down every single scene that happened in the hotel room just to say that everything that happened in that room was creepy as hell. Just the sounds that were, coming through walls and into the darkness. And when he's seeing the reflection of Fiona in the bunny suit, and he kind of gets in close to see it, and the door closes on her, and then bam, that TV turns on. It's that character that was on TV when he accidentally killed his mom. That character was creepy. And I thought that was going to be the horror character of the film. I thought it was going to be, like your Michael Myers or your Freddy Krueger. I thought that was going to be some sort of character in the film, but it was just like a flashback to his childhood when he killed his mom, to which we actually see that scene of him killing his mom depicted. And gosh, that was dark. I think the creepiest moment for me was when he took the dumbwaiter down to the basement. He explores down there, sees it's a dead end. He's like, okay, I got to go back up. He's checking his watch because he found a way to time the dumbwaiter to where he could have something push the button for him. He messed with the clock that was up there to where it would get struck by the little angel baby and it would take the dumbwaiter up. So he's counting it down. But as he's like, wait, oh God, again, getting the chills just thinking about it. The lights are shut off and he's just kind of like looking into the darkness and like holding the lantern up, and you see the face kind of creep out, and like right as the dumbwaiter starts to go up, he like gets another look and she's just like right in his face, and it was so creepy. And then he gets up to the top, but then the angel baby strikes the thing down to take the dumbwaiter down. He crawls out and he's like, oh, you know, phew, that was close. Let me look down the dumbwaiter. And then you see the head just looking up at him. And then when the witch starts to crawl up the wall, oh, woo. Chill City. Chill City. I loved it. I loved it. Speeding forward a little bit, Jerry does come back. He escapes. The one dude, he gets back to the hotel. He's convinced Om is up in that room. But the other guy who committed the murder of his pregnant mistress, which we found out she was pregnant. And it's like, oh, and she's leaving these messages. She keeps saying, we're trying to find a way out. She's speaking on behalf of her and her child she's carrying. And it's so sad.
You're breaking my heart.
Kept showing just the lifeless body of Fiona, and it was just so sad to think about that. Here's this woman who was in love with this guy. You know, she wanted to keep the baby, and it was fine. She wasn't even going to tell anyone it was his, but he was like, no, I'm going to kill you. Jerry comes to Om's rescue. He gets the key back from bellboy son-in-law guy, and he breaks him out, but then shot in the head with the crossbow. That sucked. So what does he do? He takes the dumbwaiter back down. He's like, well, I'd rather be with the witch than be shot with the crossbow. But he's got the key. And unfortunately, and I didn't realize what had happened, he was drawing the chalk line. But then like next scene, we see that he's in shackles. I was like, wait, I thought he drew the line. But then my wife pointed out, no, he wasn't able to finish the line before she like grabbed him. And then he's just sitting there against the wall, just like, you know. And then he has that moment like with his mom where he's like, it was an accident. He's coming to terms with it. He's accepting. He's almost understood like, okay, it was an accident. I need to stop like blaming myself. Like I did it, but was an accident. She forgives him, to which this all seems like it's a hallucination once we find out later from the bellboy that he had spiked his whiskey. So he was hallucinating things. But Jerry says that that moonshine stuff, when you drink it, just opens your mind up to see things that other people can't see. So it's like, did it happen? Didn't it happen? But he's got the bruises on his wrist like he was in the shackles. I think it happened. I think it all happened. Do you think it happened? Did he hallucinate this stuff? Like, did he hurt himself to make him believe that he was in shackles, or was there actual witchcraft and stuff? Personally, I think everything that we saw happen in that film, I think that all happened. Then the son-in-law, he finds the key hanging from that witchcraft chandelier of, you know, just things she collects. I don't know what the heck that thing was. He's trying to get the key, but then boom, she shows up there and she grabs his hands and locks him in the shackles. Super creepy. That's when we see her walk by through the semicircle because he didn't finish the chalk line. Goes to these doors that swing open, which I believe that, I don't know if those doors were supposed to be the bricked up wall that we saw. And once he drank more of the whiskey and finished that flask, that's when he saw those like swinging doors. It kind of seemed like from like an old saloon, or not a saloon, but like an old-timey bar with the glass windows and stuff. She swings it open and there's like, looked like demons and stuff. And he gets dragged in by the chains. Om cuts his chain off. He gets back to the dumbwaiter, gets up, gets rescued by the dude that works at the hotel, gets out. But it still leaves you wondering, it's like, okay, but did it happen or didn't it happen? It makes us question that, but then it has that flashback to Jerry telling him, you know, it just helps you see things that other people can't see. Like, it just opens your eyes to, you know, because Jerry's talking about how he sees his dead wife and how she told him, we're going to be together soon, which is crazy because just a couple weeks later, he dies. So now I think we could believe that he's with his wife. He actually did see his wife on one of his mushroom moonshine trips with the goat milk. He did see his wife, and she knew he was going to die, and they are together now. So I'm going to say happy ending for Jerry. I think happy ending. He's with his wife now, living in the afterlife, happily ever after. You know, the movie's wrapping up, and then it flashes back to the story that he's writing, and I look at my boss like, he's going to give it the happy ending that Fiona wanted. You know, she didn't like how bleak his original ending was, to where like the dude murders a kid but he still doesn't break the bottle open. It's like, well, that sucks. That's not going to please many people. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to do the happy ending. And I'm curious, it didn't show it, but I'm curious if maybe he dedicated the book to Fiona. What do you think? Do you think he dedicated the book to Fiona when that book got published? Let me know in the comments. I absolutely loved this movie. Currently sitting at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. A very fresh movie. It's being loved. It doesn't have the audience score yet, but oh, you know what? Speaking of Rotten Tomatoes, I gotta give my rating. And my rating, I'm giving this movie, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I loved it. It wasn't a perfect movie. I mean, there's part of me, I'm not gonna lie, there's part of me that wants to just say 10 out of 10. Because there's nothing I can point out to be like, I didn't like that. I feel like, am I crazy if I say 10? Screw it. Screw it. It's getting a 10. It's getting a 10. I can't say anything I didn't like about it. So if I can't talk about anything I didn't like, then that means it was perfect for me. I mean, I loved it. I loved my experience. I thought the creepy music, the score was good, the writing was good, the acting was good, the directing was good, the color grading, the cinematography, everything about this movie was great. I didn't have any complaints. There wasn't anything I was like, that didn't really work for me. That scene was kind of stupid. I had no moments like that, which usually I have a few little critiques along the way somewhere, but no, not with this one. So 10 out of 10, baby. That's my full review of Hokum. I'm glad you tuned in. Again, if you're new to this channel, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button down there. Hit that little like button like the sign there says. Help my video get discovered. I'm going to try and do more videos lately. I know I took that break, but I'm back. I'm going to try and do more videos at least weekly. If not, I'm going to try and make May a very busy May. So whether it's Daredevil, Maul, we got Mandalorian and Grogu, I'm going to be busting out reviews on all this stuff and talking about it with you guys because I love talking with you guys about movies and TV shows. So hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of Hokum if you already saw the movie. What were your favorite parts? Was there something that didn't work for you? And what would you rate it? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you guys there and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.